my name is Hannah Apuela, and in this video I will be talking about the citric acid cycle, which is the second step in cellular respiration. The first step is glycolysis, which takes one molecule of glucose and converts it into two molecules of pyruvate. It also reduces two molecules of NAD plus into two molecules of NADH. It also produces two molecules of ATP. If oxygen is present after glycolysis, it moves forward to the citric acid cycle, which is also known as the Krebs cycle. The primary substrate of the citric acid cycle is pyruvate, which then gets converted to acetyl coenzyme A, or also known as acetyl-CoA. During that conversion, an NAD plus gets reduced and gets converted to NADH, and acetyl-CoA is a two-carbon molecule. It has one less carbon molecule than pyruvate, which is a three-carbon molecule, because during the conversion from pyruvate to acetyl-CoA, a carbon is lost to produce carbon dioxide, which is a byproduct of this conversion from pyruvate to the acetyl coenzyme A. Okay, the citric acid cycle begins when a 4-carbon chain known as oxaloacetate combines with acetyl-CoA to produce a 6-carbon molecule known as citrate. Citrate then becomes another 6-carbon molecule known as cis-aconitate, which then becomes isomerized to produce a 6-carbon molecule known as isocitrate. The next step, we lose a carbon, which then produces carbon dioxide, and an NAD plus becomes reduced to make NADH. We are left with a 5-carbon molecule known as alpha-ketoglutarate, and another carbon is lost and another carbon dioxide is produced, and we have another NAD plus reduced to make the second NADH of the citric acid cycle. Now we have a 4-carbon molecule as the next step of the citric acid cycle, known as succinyl-CoA. Succinyl-CoA becomes another 4-carbon molecule known as succinate, and in the process, a GDP becomes phosphorylized to make GTP. GDP is essentially ADP, and ADP becomes phosphorylized to make ATP. Succinate then becomes another 4-carbon molecule known as fumarate. And in the process of that conversion, an FAD plus becomes reduced to make FADH2. Fumarate then becomes a 4-carbon molecule known as malate. And in the last step of the citric acid cycle, malate becomes oxaloacetate, and in that conversion, the last NAD plus becomes reduced to make the third and last NADH of the citric acid cycle. This whole cycle used up one pyruvate, and because glycolysis produced two molecules of pyruvate, the citric acid cycle goes through another spin, and in a total of two ATP molecules are produced, 6 NADH molecules are produced, and 2 FADH plus molecules are produced. And the 6 NADH molecules and the 2 FADH2 molecules produced in the 2 citric acid cycles continues on to the electron transport and makes more ATP for the body to use as a form of energy. And that is the citric acid cycle.